in the southeast really takes its time, but it finally arrived in late October. I started construction on a lean-to shelter in preparation for the colder months of the year. First I set up the main support beam, and then I have to make cordage. Tulip poplar bark is one of my favorite cordage materials in the area. It peels very easily and is super strong. I lashed the tulip poplar cordage around the support beam to add further strength and integrity to the structure, also so it doesn't fall on my head. After the structure looks reasonably secure, I give it the final test. Pull-ups. I'll probably need to add extra support later, but for now, I'll start building it out. The forest that I'm in has a lot of downed hemlock trees, and I use the shafts to create the lean-to. The process of building these shelters can be quite a good workout. I found this great splitting technique from a Paul Kirkley video. You can use this technique to split bigger pieces of wood with a small hatchet. Essentially, you just flip the hatchet upside down and use the weight of the wood to split itself, basically. Now I'm sharpening some stakes to make a pot holder. I find pot holders really convenient to boil some tea without getting the kettle so dirty. Since it's still early in the day, I'm going to be brewing my lion's mane and ginseng tea blend. I usually bring my own tea blends outside, or I wild forage ingredients like pine needles or sassafras roots on the fly. Now I'm processing some tulip poplar to create some extra kindling. I took a frozen pizza outside and I topped it with some mushrooms just to spice things up a little bit. Cooking even the most mundane thing outside, it makes it much more interesting. Once the pizza was partially cooked, I added a little bit of pesto to it. I then added some of the black walnuts that I harvested previously for an extra crunch. Once the pizza was nice and crispy, I took it off the heat. I'll admit this was a strange recipe, but it was one of the best pizzas I've had in a while. I then set up a base camp nearby at one of the Tarp shelters. I really like to bring these battery-operated fairy lights with me. They're super lightweight, a lot lighter than a lantern or anything else that would provide ambient lighting. I still bring along like a headlamp as well. Now I can just unwind, listen to the fire and the sounds of nature. In the morning, I gather some firewood to make a small cooking fire. I wait for the fire to burn down to coals while I wake up. I start preparing a standard breakfast, eggs and potatoes. Later, it started to rain a little, so I thought I'd make another fire to brew some tea up. I made some of my chaga root beer, which is a combination of chaga mushroom and sassafras roots. Tastes identical to a normal root beer, but without the carbonation, of course.